everyone! Welcome back to our virtual classroom. Today, we're going to discuss a proof of discussion about organization and management. And I am hoping that you're comfortable while you're listening and watching. And also, at the end of this session for today, you are expected to master our learning objectives.
First, we have our learning objectives. We're going to discuss the meaning and functions of management, explain the various types of management, and understand the basic theories of management. So I hope you're ready. So let's start on. First, you need to have your notebook so that you can have your important terms and definitions for our discussions to be jotting down on. And then you have your ball pen, of course. And last one, you should have your full attention on this discussion. So are you ready? So let's begin. First, let's have a brainstorming. So we will be having a game. It's called Picture Me. So in here, I'll be going to show you some pictures, and then you're going to write down something that you're going to see in the picture. So you're going to say something about the picture. So just only a draft, just write it on your notebook. First picture is this one. So what can you say about the picture, or what comes first on your mind when you see this picture? So just the word. The second picture is this one. And the last picture is this one. What can you say about the picture? Just write it on your notebook, and then later on we will compare your notes into the slide. I will give you a few minutes. Okay, once again, I'm going to show you the pictures. This is the second one. What can you say about the pictures? Just randomly words, that's okay. And the last one. Okay. Next, I'm going to show you a blank sheet of paper. And here, I'm going to show also some of the words that you need to compare on your notes. Okay, the first word, maybe some of you might answer teamwork. That's correct. If you have do the same. Some of you might answer planning, goals, organize, and the word communication, because as you can see in the picture, you see them communicating to each other. Also might answer leadership, that's correct, and managing. So all of your answers are correct. So that means if your answers are mentioned on the screen, means you're doing well. So keep it up and good job. And here is the first lesson, which is the meaning of management. In history, management is already been existed long back history since the human creation was started. And here in this picture, you can see the Egyptian civilization. In here, they are constructing the pyramid. The constructions was going on, and there's a group of effort. You can see a group of people doing together, put their effort together, and then they constructed a magnificent structure in terms of pyramid. So here, during human creations, there's already a concept of management wherein they put all together their effort to achieve something. So management is already been existent since before then. Next, if you're going to ask me what is the simple meaning of management, I would say that from the word management, we can get the word or the root word manage and then the word man. So here, man is very important in management. Man is considered the human resources, the people inside the organization. Because without men or without human resources, your organizations is not working out. Another simple meaning of management, according to one of the gurus of management, it says that management is an art of getting things done through others. So simple as that. Management is an art of getting things done through others. Another one is given by Henry Fayol, which is one of the guru or one of the foundation and theories of management, is he says that it is to forecast, control, plan, and evaluate. So later on we will talk about in details about the functions of it. Then if we look at the little bit more exact definition of what is management, we can get that the management is a process by which you do planning, organizing, staffing, directing, and controlling of what? The activities in an organization. So again, it is a concept of planning, organizing, staffing, directing, and controlling the activities inside an organization or any corporation or any business. So that is the definition of management. So it's so simple as that. So let's me recap quickly on what we've seen till now. So we have seen the definition and the meaning of management. So this is the summary. The meaning and definition of management we read has art. It is an art of getting things done through other, and it also is a process by which you do planning, organizing, staffing, directing, controlling the activities in an organization. So that is all about meaning and definition of management. Now, after that, we can move on to the next topic, which is called the functions of management. So are you ready? Okay. So lesson 2, it is all about the functions of management. Functions of management is composes of 5 steps. The first step is planning. Planning is a process by which you're thinking in advance what you need to do. So as a manager, it's always like saying planning is like thinking activity or forward looking activity, because as a manager, you are thinking things in advance for the future. And also as a manager, you have something like a basic questions that you need to do before you do the planning. And what are those questions or the basic questions that involving in planning, or whoever person involved in the planning, they need to ask this question. The first question is what to do, how to do it, who will do it, and when will we do it. This is important questions, because once you ask this and you're going to decide the plan in the future, you have to follow these questions, because only then you can do a proper and effective planning. So let's have a recap. Planning is a process by which you do thinking in advance what you need to do. So it's always forward looking and future oriented. So that is all about planning. Next step is organizing. In organizing, it is a process by which you are arranging a group of people. and getting the works done. Another one is assigning them responsibilities, giving them specific job, and giving them as well an authorities. Here, in organizing, it is very important that a manager has to have what we call organization structure. Why? Because it is a framework of an organization, or they call it skeletal human body. It is the same way that the organization structure is a framework in organization because it represents the different level, and it's give clearly who are the people on the top and who are the people in the middle and in the lower level. So in organization, organizing people inside the organization is very important, and that is what we call organization structure. Then after planning and organizing, we will go to the third functions of management, which is staffing. So what is the staffing? Staffing is a process of acquiring people. Remember this, acquiring people. It is a very crucial step in management because in here, let's say you have the best planning that you have, the best organizational structure that you have, but there's no human resources. No human resources to support your organization, then your business or your organization will collapse. Otherwise, if you have a very good planning, a very good organization structure, and with human resources, because human resources is the support of your system, and actually human resources is the pillar of organization. People is nothing but the human resources. So if you have this both, best plan, right organization structure, and human resources, your business will succeed and your business will work. So remember, staffing is acquiring people in the organization. Okay, let me give you a little bit of information. In management, what we have a 5 M's of management. So in our hand, first we have our man, which is considered or represents the thumb. The second, we have the materials, the money, the methods, and the machines. Thumb represents the man. Without the man or the human resources in an organization, all of this, whatever your latest materials, your latest machines, or your latest methods will not working without men. So that means all of these 4 M's are useless if you don't have a human resources. Same work, the same way represents in our hand. If you don't have, if without the thumb, your entire hand cannot functions properly. So remember, staffing is acquiring men. So men is very important and very essential in organizing a business or any organization. Okay. Next, after staffing, we will have called a laborative function. In staffing, it is a very crucial because there's a functions under staffing. And the first function is human resources, or they call it HR, recruitment selecting. Here, you hire people, you interview, and then you give them a specific job. Training and development, after you hire them, you give their training. to improve their skills and what specific jobs they're going to do in your organization. The next function is compensation. It talks about the salary of the people inside the organization because different level, different salary or different compensation. So it's a very also sensitive part when it comes to staffing. And then the performance appraisal. This talks about the bonuses, the free vacations of the people inside the organization or in your business. And the last one is the career development. This is where you promote or you put the people into other level of their positions to higher positions. So you promote the people inside it. So that is the elaborative functions under staffing. And after staffing, which is the third one, here comes the fourth, which is directing. Directing also is very important in functions of management because when we say directing, it is a process by which you are giving an input to the employees. Let's say you have a very good planning, you have your good instructional organization structure, you have your human resources. In directing, you are giving them a direction. Unless until you give them a proper direction, guide them what exactly to be done, none of the people will work, and that is a human behavior. So directing is very important. Under directing, we have 5 components of direction. Okay, because if you want to communicate with people, you need to have direction. So I'm going to one by one, but don't worry, later on I'm going to discuss it in detail. So the first component, we have communication, supervision, leadership, coordination, motivation, and that is the 5 one. The first one is communication. So communication is exchanging information between two people. There's a lot of exchanging communication or exchanging information inside the organization. And one of example is that you communicate, let's say the boss, which is a superior, communicate to the subordinate or to the employee in terms it can be in an order of instruction. The same way, the employee or the subordinate will also communicate to the supervisor, which is the boss, in a form of opinion, suggestions, idea, or concept, or maybe in a form of clarification. So there's a lot of form of, it could be also written communication and oral communication. So communication is very essential element in giving directions to the people. So that is all about communication. Next, supervision. When we say supervision, it is a process which you give instruction to the people. Take note, not only giving instruction, but to see that they are doing their work according to your instruction. So again, supervision is not giving only instructions, but you need to see exactly what they are doing according to your instructions or according to the plan of your organization. And that is the well-known on supervision. The third component is leadership. When we say leadership, it is influencing people. It is most of the time, okay, let's go back. Most of the time, leadership is a manager. So you can see in the organizational chart, there's a manager. So the functions of manager is to influence the people in the organization. So encourage them to work together as a team, to give them motivation, encourage them to do their best inside the organization. So the fourth one, which is the coordination. Coordination is a process ensures unifying, synchronizing, and integrating. It is a very also crucial components under direction because in an organization there's a lot of people, there's a lot of work, process and everything. But unless otherwise you are not able to put together all the activities in one, then you are not going to achieve the common goals or the common objectives. So unifying and integrating all together the activities in one organization is very important, and that is what we call coordination. And the fifth component is motivation. Motivation is very simple because it is a process where you encourage a team member to work. So when we say motivation, in terms which is called you inspires, or they call it energy booster. So you encourage your member or your employee to work better, and normally in this stage people gives the best in their organization when they receive a motivation system in their working area. Okay, so that is the five components of directions under directing. So till now what we have seen was the functions of management. We started with the planning, organizing, staffing, directing. So that is the four. Now we move on the fifth functions of management, which is controlling. Controlling is a process by which you perform or your performance is being accomplished or your target has been achieved. So there's a lot of steps inside the controlling. So I'm going to discuss one by one. Don't worry, later on I'm going to discuss it in details. So the first one, we have establishing standard. Remember the standard, evaluating the actual, comparing the standard with the actual, finding out the deviation, and taking corrective measures. So look at carefully and listen attentively because I'm going to give you a specific example of the steps under the controlling function. Let's say we have here letter A, which is the employee A in terms of factory workers. So employee A is given in standards to produce 100 units, let's say in a month, and that is the standard. So the company give him a standard of 100 units to be manufactured or to produce. And then employee A only produced 80 units in 1 month. So that is considered the actual. So yan lang yung na-produce niya in a 1 month. Next step, we're going to look for the deviation. So how to do that? You compare the standards with the actual. Okay, so the actual is negative 20, and which is considered the deviation. So the deviation, sometimes it is not always negative, but also in some real experience, it could be positive. Let's say employee A gave 100 units and the actual is 120, so mas mataas. So it could be a positive 20. So sumobra siya doon sa kanyang standard. So that is a positive. Here in our specific example, we have negative 20. So here you already find you're lacking with the 20 units. So that is a deviation. So what the organization manager will do, he will take corrective measures. Here is a very also sensitive part because here has a organization manager has to think some of strategies how to the employee become more productive. So the manager will think when he is exactly going wrong, saan ba siya nagkamali? Is there any problem in the instruction? Malabo ba yung instruction? Ba't hindi niya nakuha? Or maybe he's lacking of a certain skills. So maybe the employee is not yet confident to do the task. So the corrective measures is the manager or the organization manager will introduce him a training to improve more of his skills. So that's one of the actions. That's only the example of the corrective measures. So you're going to take a look of the solutions why there is a negative 20 deviations from the actual compared to the standard. So gagawa ka ng paraan para malunasan yung problema. And that is simply has corrective measures. Okay, so let's me recap. So these are basically the 5 functions of management. So let's check what we have seen today. We've seen that the meaning and definition of management. Remember that it's an art of getting things done through others. And also it is a process by which you do planning, organizing, staffing, directing, controlling activities in an organization. And then after that, we also tackle about the functions of management. We start with the planning. Remember that planning is a process by which you're thinking in advance what you need to do. And then organizing, it is a process by which you're acquiring people. Talks about the organization structure. Staffing, it is a process of acquiring people. Also entails about the human resources is very important in an organization. Directing, giving them a direction because it is a process by which you are giving an input to the employees. And then the last one, controlling, it is a process by which your performance is being accomplished or your target has been achieved. This is talks about the concept of standard and actual, and then you find the deviation, and then you take the corrective measures. So all of these are the functions of management. I hope everybody has understood what I have taken exactly in the class. So thank you so much. Here we have our worksheet. So in this side, you're going to use a separate sheet of pad paper. And this is a worksheet for lesson 1, for lesson 2, and this is our references in our lesson for today. So thank you so much.